Hi everyone, today I am making some keto caramel apple filled buns. But before I get started on the buns, I would like to show Pippi off here a little bit. I had my granddaughter Isabella, she made a comment on my last video and wanted to know why Pippi wasn't in more of the videos. Pippi's kind of she's a senior dog. She's getting pretty gray and pretty slow, and she's much more comfortable in her little bed or sleeping on the couch. But guess what, Pippi? Teddy's coming home tomorrow. I bet you can hardly wait. Not. Actually, they were getting along pretty good by the time Teddy went to training school, and he is coming back tomorrow. So we are super excited about that, right? Right? Anyways, just wanted to say hi, Izzy. Look, Pippi's in the video. I'm Anita from KetogenicWoman.com, where I share keto and carnivore recipes and other cooking ideas. If you're new here, I want to welcome you. Please check out some of my other videos. And if you are returning, welcome back. I hope you liked today's video. Okay, so I'm going to make these filled buns. I'm going to use my mesh buns, because my mesh bun pan, because I think they make nice big fluffy buns. And because they're so big, it's easy to put some nice filling in there. The filling is going to be caramel apple, but not really apple. For the apple, I am going to use Chow. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Maybe it's Chow. I don't know. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It almost even looks like an apple, but it's a good apple substitute when you're doing keto. So it's about this, they're about this size in the store. For this recipe, you need approximately 8 ounces, give or take, and this should get you close to that. I did already cut mine up. There is a pit inside here. And so I just wanted to show that to you so you know what to expect. I've already cut mine up and roasted it. I'm going to explain all this. But inside there's a small pit, and you can tell you're getting to the pit when you see this sort of woody stuff. So, but it's very apple-like in texture, but not so much in taste. So let me just grab something behind me here, and I will explain what I'm doing. I got the recipe from Chow. It is their caramel apple cupcakes, except for I'm not making the cupcakes. I'm going to be using my BBBE bread as the base, because in their recipe, their cupcakes use almond flour and coconut flour, and I just can't. I can't do those. They affect me. I get cramps and things like that. And I am trying to be mostly animal based, but I thought this would be something that you could make as a sugar-free dessert. Mother's Day is coming up. Some of you might want to make something for your mom, or a sister or an aunt, or whoever is in your life like that you want to make a special treat for. So this, usually if I see something with more than 5 ingredients in it, my eyes glaze over and I walk away. But this just sounded good, so I will be using some Chow in it, and I'll probably give you some ideas on how you can use something else if you don't want to use Chow. But I decided to go ahead and use the Chow, and it's going to be there's going to be a caramel sauce and our chopped up apple and some cream cheese frosting, and it's all going to be inside the BBBE buns. So the other advantage of using the BBBE bread, and I'll link my original recipe down below to that for making the breads and buns, is that it's much lower in carbs than the coconut flour and almond flour cupcakes. So I think it's going to be good. I think even though the bread part won't be sweet, the filling is definitely going to be sweet enough. So let's get started. I've already cut up my other one of these that I had, and I've already roasted it. I've got the oven on to 325 because I'm going to make my bread now, or the the bun part. And I've already made the caramel sauce, but I'm going to, when I bring those things out, I am going to explain how they were done, and I'm going to provide the link down below to Keto Chow's recipe. I got it, I'm on their email list, and it came the other day. It's by Chef Taffiny who's amazing with a set of beaters. Let me tell you, I've watched a couple of her YouTube videos. So yeah, I was pretty impressed. Anyways, so let's get started here. Okay, so I've printed out the recipe card for the protein bread, the BBBE bread. Oven is ready because I've talked too much. So what I need is 6 egg whites, and I need 3 yolks. And so I'm going to use 3 actual fresh egg whites, and I'm going to make up the rest from here and then save the yolks for the bread at the end, the buns at the end. So we'll start with that. Actually, I'm going to put it in here. Okay, so I have 3 egg whites in here. It's just under 100 mils. So I'm going to add about 100 mils of my carton egg whites so that I have a total of 6 egg whites. Okay. So we're going to reserve those egg yolks for in a little bit. And I'm going to... It's been a while since I've made, I would say it's been about 2 or 3 months since I've made any of this. That's why I have my recipe. I mean, it's my recipe, but I don't remember it. Okay, so we need some egg white powder. So I have that here. Got my egg white powder. I bought some new containers. I have my bone broth powder. If you don't have this beef bone broth, what you can use is gelatin, like beef gelatin, or the beef collagen powder. The whole idea of it, like, this is not to add flavor or anything, but what it does is it completely it softens the texture so that it goes from being kind of a styrofoamy bread to something more soft and fluffy. And usually probably about 2 tablespoons, I think, or 2 scoops of the collagen, or 2 tablespoons of the beef gelatin powder if you don't have that. I like to use this. So actually I just have to grab a bowl to measure the egg white powder in. So let me do that. I've got my scale. Uh-oh. Okay, so the recipe says, I think it's 42 grams of egg white powder, which I find is very close to 1/3 of a cup. So I thought I would just, we'll try that and see how close we get. Oh, no, must be a little more than 1/3 of a cup. And we want to have 30 grams of the bone broth powder. Ooh, brand new. Came before I moved, and I haven't used it since. Now with this, you don't have to worry about your bread or your buns tasting beefy, because for some reason it doesn't. Okay, so it was almost a scoop. I went over just a tad. It's 32, but it's not going to make any difference. It'll be good. And a little bit of Redmond's salt, 1/4 teaspoon. We are going to do our eggs in here. Now in the old place, I was mixing it all together. I have no idea about the humidity level in this place. This is completely new to me. So I'm gonna I'm gonna whip these eggs up first, and then I'm going to add my dry ingredients just in case. I'm just gonna hedge my bets a little bit here. This should whip for about 8 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes. I always say that and then it ends up being less, but let's see what happens. Not sure how long that was, but I think this looks pretty good. Nice and stiff. So I am going to put these dry ingredients in this little well down here. They poof up, and then I'm going to incorporate it on the lowest speed for a couple minutes. Just going to scoop around the bottom. I want to put my egg yolks in now. Try to get them in one at a time, sort of. Okay. Okay. So it does, it'll soften up a little bit, and that's okay. So let me just get this. Okay, so now I'm going to put these in my muffin bun, whatever you want to call these things. Oh, I need to spray this first. I like to spray these mesh ones because otherwise it does seem to stick for me. Just gonna incorporate that a bit more. Hear that noise it's making. Yep. I know a lot of you are probably yelling at your screen right now. Put a towel underneath it. I promise I will next time. Oh my goodness, no, I gotta do it right now. That down. All right. So what I'm going to do now is take a tablespoon and just kind of make a well in each one of these. It's almost like when I do the Danishes, you know, make a nice well for the filling to go into. These will just be bigger and fluffier than the Danishes. And I won't bake these as long as I do this recipe when I make a loaf of bread. So I'm going to, I'm thinking about 15 minutes. And the other thing is I won't be buttering the top like I do when I make this recipe for bread or regular buns, like hamburger buns or hot dog buns. We're making a shell for our luscious filling, which I'll explain next. So these are gonna go in now, 325, 15 minutes. And then I'm going to bring my other things here. We have to make the cream cheese frosting for this. Okay, so the buns are in the oven and I'm going to make the cream cheese frosting. But I wanted to show you what I made so far because there's 3 components to this caramel apple recipe from Keto Chow. So there's the chayote, which I have peeled, and I diced it into small dice and spread it out on parchment paper and baked it at 350 for 40 minutes. The instructions are in the recipe. Before I baked it, I tossed it with a tablespoon of Swerve granulated brown sugar, half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, half a teaspoon vanilla, half a teaspoon cinnamon, a tablespoon of brown sugar. So I am going to link that recipe because I followed everything in the recipe except the cupcakes. I did the chayote squash the same. I made caramel sauce. This caramel sauce is allulose and butter and a little bit of cream added at the end. It is delicious. It was all I could do not to sit there and eat a big spoonful. So that is going to go in this, and right now I'm going to start making the actual the cream cheese frosting for this. I guess it's kind of a frosting or a filling, and in that is going to be an apple pie keto chow package, some butter, and half a cup of cream cheese and some vanilla, and some allulose. It's supposed to be 1 cup of powdered allulose, but this was all I had in the powdered, so I'm going to be topping it up with the regular. I'm sure it'll be fine. I never worry about this sort of thing. But yeah, it's a total of 1 cup. There's not that much difference between the powdered and the granulated. I'm using the Besti one, and it's fairly fine. Like, it's not chunky or anything. Is that going to be enough? I always tend to add a little bit less sweetener, but I'm just gonna. This is going to be one of those rare, once in a while keto treats that I make. I really don't have too many of them for various reasons, which we'll talk about in another video. Okay, so there's that. So I'm going to measure out my half a cup of the cream cheese. Unfortunately, I accidentally bought light. I did not do that on purpose. I do prefer the regular, but it is what I have now, and there was no turning back once I saw that. So everything else is made. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, so I need my beaters for this. Get rid of my chayote. Okay, so I'm just gonna whip this up a little bit. So I am going to, what they have in here is 2 ounces of heavy cream. So I'm just gonna grab that. 2 ounces of heavy cream is 1/4 cup. And this is the Avalon with no thickeners. I'm so happy to have found that. And what else we got in here? 1 scoop of Keto Chow apple pie. So that's this. This is the equivalent of 1 scoop. Now what you could do, if you don't have Keto Chow and have no plans to get it, although I really do like this flavor is amazing, is you could use maybe some vanilla protein powder, a scoop. And I have got a couple things here. I love these flavor-alls. I have Awesome Apple. It's stevia based, and I also have creamy caramel. So I was actually going to add some caramel drops to the caramel sauce, but it definitely doesn't need it. I may add some apple drops to these, but we'll see. Okay, and vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons. And some ground cinnamon, and another teaspoon of that. Okay, I'm gonna mix this up a bit. Okay, and then it says 1 cup butter. So I have had this on the counter for a couple hours so that it would be very soft. They said to cut it into chunks to make it easier, but I think it's not gonna be hard because it's very soft. Wow, too soft almost. I hope I don't have to eat my words here. It'll be fine. Okay, I just have to check my buns. I'm going to take those out and let them rest while we finish. So that was 15 minutes at 325 for those buns. They look done. Oh, I need more butter. I probably should have cut it up into little pieces and then let it soften, but that's okay. It's still gonna work. And I should have got a bigger thing, I can tell. All right, I'm going to add in the sweetener now. So if I was doing this again, I would get a bigger bowl and I would have cut that butter up into little pieces, just like it says. You know, when something says it's done by Chef Taffiny Elrod, there's a reason that they're called chef, and I'm not. So listen to the chef. They know what they're doing.
Stop the mixer. Add the powdered erythritol, beat at the lowest speed, and whip it till it's all combined and light and creamy.
At least I stopped the mixer.
I do believe some of this just flew across the room somewhere. I'll have to locate it later.
All right, we are almost mixed. That's going to be fun getting those out of there. Okay. I think I'm going to thin this with a little bit more cream because that is super thick. Oh, and I do remember it said 2 fluid ounces heavy cream plus extra for thinning the frosting if needed. It's definitely needed. Let's see how that does. Okay, well, you know, nothing is the end of the world. It's going to be good. I'll just try and get most of it out. It should be just fine. It looks like we have lots. I don't even know if I can use this all. 8 buns over there. It smells really good. I can say that. Okay, so I am going to, we're going to let that cool down so that it is cool to the touch. And then we're going to assemble our filled buns. So we'll see you in the next segment. Okay, we're back. So a couple problems. I had this fantasy of these finely piped little rosettes around here. I can't find my piping stuff. And then I thought plan B, I was gonna make a little scoop inside each one, and I have a small scoop and it's one size down from this. Can't find it. So things are still kind of, you know, in the garage. And the last problem, this is what happens when you take someone else's recipe and try to do it an experiment without having ever tried it before. I'm pretty sure I have twice as much of the cream cheese and caramel sauce as I need, and so I'll probably have to put the rest away and save it for something. But I'm going to do my best to make these look pretty. So I'm sure that that we can do something here. So I've got, no, that's way too much. I need my little scoop. So I'm gonna, maybe I'll try this. Then I have to stick my clean finger in. That's kind of more what I was imagining, was like a tablespoon in there. This is way too much. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. If you have an idea of what I can do with this leftover, it's just way more than what I need. But we're gonna do our best to make this look attractive. Pretend it's Mother's Day brunch and you're serving this to people. We want it to look, you know, kind of appetizing. That one didn't come out so great, but I'll probably right after this find my smaller scoop. That's how it works. I can take, I have an icing thingy.
The words are not coming to me.
It's a offset spatula, and smooth these little balls out when I'm done here so that they look better. I can tell you that this tastes really good. I tasted some, and it's going to be great with this other stuff. Okay, so I'm going to take my icing spatula. I know that's here somewhere. Just going to smooth it down in the cavity that I made to hold the stuff. I mean, you could put a little bit more in if you want. So then I've got my chayote, which has been baked and it's cooled and everything. I'm gonna sprinkle some of these on top. I probably have too many of these too, so I can be generous here if I want. This is it's a squash that's low in carbs and makes a good substitute for apple. I used to make, you know, when I was just doing low carb many years ago, I used to make muffins with these. And so they work kind of nicely. And yeah, I have lots left over. And then for the best part, we've got the caramel sauce, and that is just going to be just drizzled on. Now the caramel sauce will keep in the fridge. I'm not quite sure how long. I'll have to check that out. But you can use it over some keto ice cream, pancakes. You know, make yourself some keto pancakes. It's very sweet, so you don't want to go overboard with it. Okay. So I have lots of the caramel sauce left as well. So, but doesn't it look pretty? I'm going to put it on a plate and I'm going to give it a try. So here's a close-up shot. All right, should we give this a try? I'm kind of excited. This is amazing. Really good. I mean, so the bread is not sweet at all, but it doesn't matter because this caramel sauce with the you know, faux apple and the cream cheese apple keto chow flavor, really good. It's just such a nice combination. So I think that this would be good to serve to guests for sure. I wouldn't have any hesitation about it. And you could certainly, you know, you could make a cheesecake and top it with this caramel and apple. So many things you could do with that. So apologies to the Chef Taffiny that, you know, I butchered your recipe a bit here. I just can't do the coconut and almond flour, but I appreciate that, you know, these other things that you did are amazing. And I know that everyone is gonna love this. So thank you very much. And I am so excited that Teddy's coming home tomorrow. I promise you're gonna see him on the next video. So we'll see you with Teddy, hopefully in a few days. Bye-bye.
Oh, I forgot something. I'm feeling like a rookie right now. I hope I don't have to eat my words here. It'll be fine. God. Don't you know how to count?